Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kelly, and in today's video, we're doing another pick a card reading. Today, we're asking Spirit all about the journey to your marriage partner. All of my pick a card readings are timeless, so whenever you come upon this video, a message will be ready for you. Before we begin, please give me a big like down below and subscribe to my channel for more pick a card tarot readings just like this one. If you're new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. These are the 4 piles that you can choose from. This is pile 1 with a calcite moon. This is pile 2 with a tiger's eye point. This is pile 3 with a green aventurine point. And this is pile 4 with a tiger's eye. I'll give you some time to start meditating on the cards and choose the pile that you feel the most drawn to. Please use your intuition when choosing your pile, and if you feel drawn to more than one pile, feel free to watch multiple piles. There may be more than one message in this video for you today. After you're done deciding, scroll down to the description box or the pinned comment and click on the timestamp to skip to your reading. Tarot is an intuitive and insightful way to read the current energies surrounding a situation. If you ever hear something you do not like in a reading, please do not give up or get discouraged. Remember that you have 100% free will over your life and you can change the course of direction at any time. My intention with these readings is to help gently guide you to a better path for your mind, heart, and soul. So never get discouraged about what you may hear because it may end up being the activation you need to change course. With that being said, I'll give you some time to start meditating on the cards. You can close your eyes and hover your hand over the screen to see if you feel any sensations on a certain pile, or you can simply meditate on the cards and choose a pile based off of your gut feeling. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the calcite moon, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot cards. We're getting the 7 of Cups, the moon, the Ace of Cups, the 6 of Cups, the Sun, and the Queen of Pentacles. All right, so this is your reading for your journey to your marriage partner. And I'm sensing that this is going to be a really emotional relationship because we have this Cups here, moon, cups again, and then the sun. So this is a really positive, soul-nurturing, emotional relationship that's going to be your marriage partner. But before we really deep dive into the tarot cards, let's talk about the calcite moon and why you may have been drawn to the calcite moon for this particular reading. So calcite really comes towards you, or you might be drawn towards calcite if you've been feeling confused, emotionally overloaded, or even stuck in your head, because calcite is a really good stone to work with when you want to clear the emotional fog and also for heart safety. If you were drawn to the calcite moon, it is likely that your love story begins when the emotional clarity starts to return to your life. So if you're going through a period of time of fogginess, of illusion, of fear, of anxiety, your marriage partner, your true marriage partner will come towards you once you start to clear that on your own. So something is coming up for me right now. I had recently learned, I always had the intuitive insight about this, but I had recently learned there was research that emotional regulation really starts with you and you need to do the bulk of it. So studies show that you need to get yourself 70% of the way there, like out of the fog, and then the 30% can be from external stuff. So tarot readings to get more clarity, talking to your friends, talking to your family, those are those external things that you might rely on to get a clarity, but it's only supposed to be about 30%. So you need to get yourself 70% of the way there. And if you were drawn to the calcite moon, that is definitely a message for you that once you get yourself to that 70% there, you're really going to start being able to see who's actually going to be a good marriage partner. Because I'm sensing that for some of you, you were always attracted to people that caused you troubles in your life, or always gave this sense of anxiety, worry, fear, and depression into your life. So when you move away from being attracted to people like that, you clear the fog, you're going to start being attracted to the right people. So that could be a reason why you were attracted to the calcite. Furthermore, calcite is also a mental and emotional purifier. So it really helps us dissolve any subconscious fears, any self-doubt, and any type of emotional distortion that we might have about a situation, a person, a place, a thing, so your intuition can actually come through cleanly. So that is why you might be attracted to the calcite. So this really aligns beautifully with the moon energy that we're getting on the tarot, further helping you understand the difference between having these anxious, fearful type of relationships versus using your intuition to guide you towards the right type of relationship for you. So pile number one, your marriage journey actually begins when you start clearing some of that emotional fog, tapping into your intuition and letting go of things that no longer feed you and only put negativity, anxiety, and fear into your life. Okay, so now that we've talked about the calcite moon, let's go ahead and dive into the tarot cards, starting with the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is actually talking about opportunities, choices, wishful thinking, and illusion. This is Venus in Scorpio energy. So it's actually a quite intense energy. Venus in Scorpio can get really fixated on one of their choices, one of their opportunities. In this context of the journey to your marriage partner, this could mean that you're very attached to one outcome with a certain person that you're thinking about dating or in a relationship with. You may think that this person has to be your marriage partner. You may be thinking that you've invested a lot into this particular cup, into this particular basket. However, if this person is always creating confusion in your life, then you might have to realize that you're only thinking wishfully, that this relationship is more based on illusion and wishful thinking than an actual wise choice. Okay, so with the Seven of Cups here, you have had many confusing options in love. You may have had mixed signals, straight up fantasies, emotional what if this, what if that, all these scenarios, and you may have even wondered if love is even real because of the things that you have went through, because of you chasing illusions. I'm getting a smoke and mirrors type of energy from the Seven of Cups for this particular spread, and I'm sensing that this is really your current situation or your recent past, because this is not the person that you're actually meant to end up with, okay? So the Seven of Cups, again, that Venus and Scorpio energy, that energy really shows us this type of emotional projection, possession, obsession, and a desire really mixed with that doubt and fear because of the energy of Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio is very intense. However, they can be doubtful, they can be suspicious. So, this energy is really present in either your current situation or your recent past. So, you weren't really able to see people as they were in your past, but you would see them as how you would hope them to be. You would create these illusions inside your head of who this person could be, but that is not who this person is showing you that they are. So this card right here, the Seven of Cups, is really illustrating to me that even though your heart had good intentions, that you were trying to stay devoted, because Scorpio can be also a very devoted sign, the illusion is soon to be lifting from your heart, from your mind, and you're going to realize that your journey really is going to start beginning towards your marriage partner when you wake up from this emotional fantasy that you have about this particular person, right? Which moves us straight into the moon, which further amplifies the energy of the Seven of Cups here. So the moon is water energy. This is your intuition. This is connected to Pisces. Pisces is a very intuitive sign. Sometimes Pisces, though, they don't have boundaries. They don't know how to self-protect themselves. So they end up just ignoring their intuition and staying in that illusion, staying in that place where they feel fearful, anxious, and this is also a card that talks about your subconscious, intuition, dreams, crisis. So honestly, Pisces can put themselves in crisis situations at times because they don't really have that boundary. They don't really have that sense of self-preservation like other signs might have. So this is showing me with the moon here that you have been through a lot of emotional uncertainty, especially in relationships. It could have been full of fear and anxiety, not really knowing who to trust, not really knowing whose advice is the right advice to heed. And the truth is, the people that are on your side, no matter what, are the people that really would have your back. So if you have siblings, that is somebody that you should listen to, because they're going to tell it to you straight. They're going to be honest with you. Even if you've had a really bad relationship with your siblings, with your family, at the end of the day, if they see you through a situation that is truly bad for you, they're going to tell you the truth. That's the truth. They are going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what they see, and it's really up to you to decide if you're going to listen to this information or not. So if you don't have siblings, you can also rely on your family members. This could include parents, cousins, other people that you're close to, and those are the people that are really going to have your back. There is also friends that you can lean on, but not all friends are going to have the right advice. So, for example, I don't think you should go get relationship advice from somebody that has been chronically single, like literally their whole life, and doesn't even have relationship experience. That's probably not the person you want to go to. You probably want to go to somebody that has been in an actually happy marriage. And obviously, marriages have their ups and downs. So, this person may have like a rough patch that they could refer to that they could really help you. Okay, but with the moon here, it's really showing me that Pisces energy is your subconscious is speaking to you. There might be old emotional wounds that you're holding on to, even dreams and intuition that is screaming at you, and there's also fear tangled in all of those things. So this is a messy energy here. This card really shows me that the path to your marriage partner begins with you healing your emotions. Okay, this is not about dating, even though this can mean options and choices. I don't really see dating out of this. This is showing me that when you sort through your own emotions and you can rely on somebody else for 30%, but you have to do the 70% yourself, once you get through that illusion, okay, because both of these cards are talking about illusion, once you get a little bit past that illusion and you realize, oh my God, this person is ass. Excuse my cussing, but this person literally has made me just more and more confused, more and more isolated, more and more lonely. I don't understand. Well, it's like if you just listen to yourself, if you just listen to your own intuition. Oh, something just came up. This pile would really benefit from journaling. Yes, this pile would definitely really, really benefit from journaling because I don't understand how this is, but sometimes if I feel like, oh, I don't have time for journaling and I'll just sit there and try to think my thoughts out, my thoughts will go in 100 different directions. And it's like giving scatterbrain. And that is after years of meditation. That is after years of journaling that my thoughts still can get scattered like that. However, when I actually sit down, pen to paper, write down in my journal what I'm feeling, I'm actually very surprised. It's very channeled energy. In these tarot readings, I actually forget what I even said in the last pile because I feel like it's just channeled through me as I'm looking at the images on the cards. The same energy is coming out when I'm journaling pen and paper. It's almost like my hand is not moving through my own consciousness, my own active thoughts, that scatterbrain energy, but it's like coming from a place deeper within. It's coming like from my subconscious mind. And I get really lost in the journaling, and I really implore you to try that, to get your mind settled enough that you can read this through and realize that the only things that you ever journal about this person are negative stuff. Okay, so that is a little bit of a tough message, but let's go ahead and move on because after you get through that illusion, after your 70% of your work, leading on your friends and family for 30%, you get an opportunity in love. Okay, we got the Ace of Cups right here. The Ace of Cups is water energy again. A lot of water in this particular pole. This is Venus in Scorpio, this is water, and actually this is Sun in Scorpio, but we'll get to this in a little bit. So with the Ace of Cups here, this is water energy. This is talking about love, new relationships, compassion, and creativity. Okay, so after you go inward, after you discover what is the truth of your own self and what your feelings and emotions are trying to tell you, a new emotional beginning is going to be opening and beginning for you. This is actually symbolizing real love here, real feelings, a true heart to heart that is actually ready to give and receive. I feel like in love, you have given, trying to make connections, and either people are not meeting you where you're at or straight up pushing you away and confusing you. Okay, so with the Ace of Cups coming here, this is almost feeling like a reward. Even though it's not a reward for enduring what you went through, it's more a reward for finally getting out of that illusion and tapping into your intuition. Okay, so after that fear, after that confusion that you went through, your heart is really going to begin opening up again. And this time you're going to have so much more discernment. You're going to be able to clock things and catch red flags as soon as they come up. So this is that moment that you really become capable of recognizing who a real partner looks like, feels like, and is when they enter your life. So there's no more chasing these emotional illusions, these wishful thinking type of relationships. You're going to see things as they are. You're going to take the person as they come and decide from there. Okay, so this is a lesson for you that love doesn't really work out if you just keep trying harder, trying to make your wishful thinking turn into some type of manifestation. Your love life is really going to blossom and come to life when you feel like I know how to protect myself. I can make myself safe. I know how to use my discernment and intuition to guide my love life. And I know I already give a lot of big sister tough love here, but another message I'm just really getting is you guys have leaned on your friends, your family, and people around you more than the 30%. And I'm sensing that a lot of people have been telling you the exact same thing, and you just didn't want to listen to it because you weren't ready to let go. But it's just going to get to a point where it's so bad that you have to let go. And the sooner you just let go, it's going to be better for you because your relationships shouldn't make you feel like the Seven of Cups and the Moon. And I'm really harping on this because we started off with these two things. And I feel like if I just get that message in, you can actually get the positive. Because all these are positive in my mind, but these are the more confusing illusion type of things that is making me concerned about the particular relationship that you might be in now or that you recently exited. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on. We get the Six of Cups next. The Six of Cups is a really lovely energy, actually. This is talking about nostalgia, really revisiting the past, childhood memories, innocence, and joy. So this is Sun in Scorpio energy. And since we're getting this after the Eight of Cups, I'm sensing that this is who is going to be your marriage partner. So when you finally get through this, let go of the illusion, a new relationship is going to enter, and the person is going to feel very soulmate energy type of feeling. They're going to feel gentle, they're going to feel safe, they might even feel boring because of that security that they bring to your life. I've met a lot of ladies, okay? I've given advice to a lot of ladies. I've listened to a lot of ladies' love story, life story. And something that I've noticed again and again with ladies is they don't really like boring until they're so sick of chaos that they're craving boring. So just skip all that. Skip all that chaos, skip all those crazy relationships, and just go straight to the stable, okay? Like, that's the energy and vibe I would honestly give my daughter if I had a daughter. Like, I would literally just tell her, go with the person that feels safe, okay? That is a valuable energy, okay? This is going to be somebody that feels like they just get you, that you don't have to over explain yourself, you don't always have to feel like you're holding yourself back in a relationship, because I sense that in this type of relationship, this type of illusionary relationship, that you always felt like you had to explain yourself, hold yourself back, kind of hide who you really are and not really be able to connect with the person. However, with the Six of Cups energy, you're very much going to be able to connect with this person. It's very gentle, it's very safe. The energy feels really, really familiar. So that Six of Cups energy again is connected to the Sun in Scorpio. So this is also giving me the energy, the feeling of this person being a true soulmate, a true soul memory, maybe even a soul contract here. They are only going to enter your life after you've done the work, okay? After you've done 70% of the work and got yourself past any karmic relationships. This energy is really giving me past life ties. This is giving me an instant soul recognition, an instant emotional recognition when you see and meet this person and speak to this person. So this person really feels like home because your soul already knows them. There is a deep innocence even within this relationship. There is a layer of emotional warmth that is the foundation of this relationship. And it's really going to be here to help you heal old wounds around love. So usually I actually advise against talking about old relationships to your new partner, but because this particular person is coming up, and if you truly do 70% of the work, they can help you. They can be part of that 30% that actually helps you with any old wounds that you need to heal. But we don't want to keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking endlessly about our past to our new partner. However, this person is going to be somebody that can help you out a little bit about the past, okay? This is not giving dramatic love. This is actually the safe one, and that's how you're going to know that this person is your marriage partner. All right, and then now we get on to the very, very, very positive card, which is the Sun, the most positive card in the entire tarot. This is Sun and Fire energy. So this is talking about positivity, fun, warmth, success, vitality, and good health, and even going on a holiday. So this is literally one of the most positive cards in the entire tarot. It is not connected to a zodiac sign, but the Sun in astrology is very happy in Leo and rules over Leo, and it's very happy in Aries, so that fiery energy, okay? So with this Sun coming up, this relationship is actually going to bring you happiness. There's going to be light, there's going to be laughter, there's going to be relief. You finally feel emotionally alive again after all of this confusion, all of this intuition that you have ignored, you're finally going to feel alive again. The sun really represents that emotional safety where you're able to open up and have joy again. So after the moon's confusion, okay, clarity finally arrives when the sun comes out. This is giving me literally the energy of fogginess. Literally, if it was foggy in your city, in your town, like for a long, long time, all throughout the winter, and finally the sun comes out to play. That's the energy of your marriage partner, okay? So your marriage partner is really going to be bringing that warmth, that sunrise, that sun energy on the skin, and not that chaos that you're used to from old relationships. So this relationship is really stabilizing. It's healthy and it's deeply nourishing to your nervous system. You no longer have to live in fight or flight. So this marriage partner is not going to drain you. It's going to fill you with energy. Okay, the sun is an incredible source of energy. It gives life to all types of life forms here on Earth, and it even gives you vital things that you need to have your circadian rhythm intact, gives you vitamin D, gives you literal energy. Analyze a person. Do they drain you or do they fill you with energy? Okay, and then finally we have the Queen of Pentacles. Your partner is going to be stable, supportive, and nurturing. They're really going to show love through actions, protection, and reliability with this Queen of Pentacles coming up. And maybe this is your energy because this could also represent you in the relationship. And maybe you've always been that person in a relationship, but this relationship is actually going to show you that back. This is Sagittarius and Capricorn energy, so you might have that in your chart or they might have that in their chart. This card typically talks about a queen that is nurturing, practical, provides financially, and is a working parent. So this energy is going to be carried on into your relationship in your marriage partner. You may be really inspired to provide financially or contribute financially in your relationship, or the person you're attracting is a provider. Okay, so with the Queen of Pentacles really coming up here, this is representing somebody who again provides, not just materially but emotionally as well, because they are nurturing. Again, with that working parent archetype, this is somebody that really is interested in building a safe home, building a financial future, and building something that is long term. Okay, so your marriage is going to be grounded, loyal, and secure. Again, this is not some type of fantasy love like we had in the past. This is a real life positive one that is going to enhance your growth and personal transformation in life. Okay, so let's move on to the oracle cards that we have for you. I'm gonna have to block the image here a little bit because she's nude, but yes, her heart is open and the green color is the heart chakra. So I'm sensing that her heart is really healing and opening up, and I kind of think this is like a banana tree or something. I don't think it is, but your heart really begins to heal and open in this relationship. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Oh my gosh, that could not be more clear. I feel like whatever situation that you're currently in right now, it's not joyful. Like straight up, it's not joyful. I feel like you're actually sad, literally most of the time, or straight up depressed. And that is a sign. So realize that you are actually deserving of joy and that you're the one that's keeping yourself in that circumstance. I know it's hard to let go, but it's really important that you decide what is best for your future. If nothing changes in your current circumstance, are you willing to do that for the next whatever amount of years that you're going to live? Okay, for the rest of your life. No, then I would start to do that 70% of your work, rely on your friends and family for the 30%, and let's keep it pushing, okay? So you really deserve that joy, and you don't have to wait until life feels perfect to be happy. You can find joy even if you feel like you're stuck in a situation right now. Feed into yourself, feed into your hobbies, feed into your own appearance even. Just simply your appearance to pour into yourself rather than this other person. So this message is really about letting love in without fearing things and realizing that there's an abundance of options out there if the person that you're with right now just gives you anxiety. So your nervous system has really been braced for that loss because I feel like your mind and your subconscious has been telling you this whole time. Now it's really trying to push you towards receiving happiness without waiting for the other person to give you that happiness. You have to choose it and make choices that are in alignment with your own happiness. So your marriage partner is really going to enter when you allow yourself to pick joy instead of picking these situations that are honestly about scarcity. Okay, so let's move forward. We're getting cardinal vision, number 48. 48 is 4 plus 8 is 12 is 3. So that is actually a number of communication. So maybe this relationship that you're in now or the one that you're desiring, you want good communication and a good shared vision. That's what I'm getting out of that. So that is something that a marriage partner would provide for you, a clear vision on the shared life that you're going to have together. So you're really being asked to step into choosing clarity for your life path. This is very in line with what I just said. If nothing changes about your situation, can you see this going on for the rest of your life? No? Okay, then that's your vision. Okay, if you are disgusted by the vision of continuing whatever you're at for the rest of your life, that's a sign. Okay, that's your own intuition screaming at you. So the cardinal energy with this card right here is really about initiating your own destiny. So as you start to clarify your own life, who you are, what you're trying to achieve in love, in life, in your career, in your soul's mission, your purpose, your identity, then you start magnetizing in that partner who aligns with that future and not with your past. Okay, it's okay to make mistakes from your past, but it is wise to move on. So this person that we're talking about here doesn't show up while you're feeling lost. This person is going to show up while you have clarity, and then you start building towards the life that you want. The truth is, Earth is a physical plane, and the physical plane is all about actually building things. The physical plane is about Earth, career, money, stability, ego, nature, foundations, and even business. So even if you don't feel like you're a business-oriented person or a career person, the truth is, some people feel so lost because the truth is, we're down here to do something. Okay, I don't care what you do. Okay, I don't care what you do, but you got to earn your own living. Okay, you got to do something. Even if you're fully provided for, you don't have to work in the traditional sense, but after twiddling their thumbs for months or years, they always end up doing something. Okay, they always end up doing something. Why? Because we're on this earth plane. It's the whole point of doing something, creating something, using that fire energy of creativity to create something physical here. So regardless, you're going to be creating. You're going to be working in some sense. Maybe it's not that 9 to 5 type of energy of career, but you're going to be working. And it's good to do that. Okay, I don't know the quote entirely, but there's something about the devil loves idle hands. So get it moving, get it moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. The seal, intuition. How much have we been talking about literally intuition this entire reading? So this is just further confirmation that you do have a really strong intuition. I'm sensing that my lovely pal ones actually have a great intuition, but you guys are just doubting your intuition or not wanting to take that spiritual wisdom and direction in the way that is telling you to go, because it would blow up your entire life. Like, it's basically telling you, like, this person ain't right for you, this job ain't right for you, this city is not right for you, and you got to change it all. And that's scary. That is so scary. I totally get that. But you really are starting to learn to trust your feelings instead of fighting them. If you feel like something is so wrong, so off for you, listen to that. So the seal energy here actually moves between worlds. As we can see, they are obviously underwater, but the seal can also like dip up into the earth. So what is that showing us? Water is our emotions, is our intuition, our relationships, our healing, our subconscious, our connection. And the seal is in the water. However, the seals can also get on the earth, in the physical, which is career, money, stability, ego, nature, foundations, and business. So I'm trying to tell y'all, like, take your vision of what you want for not just love, but your life on earth. And when you really go between those two things, that emotional and that physical, you're going to have that clear vision of where you're heading. So you're really learning that emotional resilience and flexibility to create your life, because things aren't going to plan out exactly the way you want them. But this is really just that preparation phase for you to choose a healthy partner instead of repeating these old patterns right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. We're getting an archetype card. It's the mediator. Light attribute says gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. Shadow attribute says negotiating with an ulterior, a motive, or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. All right, so actually with this card coming up, I'm really sensing that you may have been quite the mediator in your relationships in the past, or you might be Libra in your chart as well. Libra is actually one of the cardinal signs too. So definitely can see that you're relationship oriented. You really wanted to make it work with people in the past before, and things have just not worked out. Honestly, things have just not worked out, but you are always going to be that person that wants to bring peace into a relationship, into a friendship, into a space, and not chaos. However, that's just not the relationships that you've been attracting, and it's time to choose. It's time to realize that what you're actually desiring is peace. Okay, so your soulmate really recognizes your emotional intelligence, your peace-loving nature, and is going to contribute peace into your life. This relationship is really going to thrive on calm and communication and emotional maturity, not drama and power struggles like you may have been dealing with right now or in the recent past. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. We're getting dog. Love that. Home and loyalty, number 36 is 9. 9 is actually a number of adaptability. So 9 is telling me with the dog here that you're adaptable to your situation. So whatever situation that you're in, whatever type of relationship you're in, you're very adaptable to that type of situation. So if they are a toxic person, you're going to be toxic right there with them. Okay. And even if you love peace, that toxic energy that they're giving towards you is just going to seep into your own energy. So when you break out of that, you break out of those illusions and you choose yourself, your marriage partner is going to feel like home because they're going to represent peace and you're going to amplify your peace, not your chaos. And then you guys are going to be loyal together, safe together, and devoted to each other. Isn't that lovely? And you can actually create a home that's filled with warmth, joy, and loyalty. So the dog energy is really that unconditional love and emotional security. This marriage is really going to end up being built on deep loyalty, companionship, and even emotional trust. And if you've seen a pack of wild dogs, they really don't like leaving anyone behind, even if they're sick, even if they're injured. They really, really try until they literally can't anymore. Like the other dog is so sick that they can't carry them on anymore, but it's so heartbreaking for them. So that level of devotion, that level of loyalty that dogs have to their pack is what this person is going to create for you and your future family. So you're not meant for some type of emotional roller coaster type of relationship like you're in right now or in your recent past. You're meant to have a sanctuary. You're meant to have peace, home, loyalty, devotion, and positivity in your relationship. Okay? My lovely pal ones, your journey to your marriage partner really begins when you stop chasing these emotional illusions and start trusting your heart. You move from confusion, okay, the moon, to clarity, which is the sun, that positivity, that joy, that success, that vitality, and even having good health. So if actually your health is terrible right now, that could be from your relationship that you're currently in, the illusionary relationship. Because a real positive relationship is going to honestly just inspire you to be your healthiest self. This karmic soul connection that you might have been in recently or in the past was rooted in fear, anxiety, grief, and you're moving towards a relationship that is all about that emotional safety, loyalty, and having a shared vision for your future together. So your partner arrives after you've worked through that chaos and illusion and brought some healing into your life. And then in perfect alignment, your marriage partner will come and help you further more with your emotional healing and building a future with you. All in all, once the marriage partner comes in, once you get through the chaos, your love story is quite warm, soft, stable, and really, really loyal. So pile number 1, that's actually all I have for you today. If you enjoyed that reading like I did, make sure you give me a big like down below. And also comment down pile number 1 if you chose this reading and tell me what resonated the most for you or what you're most excited for. I love to see your comments. It's my absolute favorite thing about the channel. So make sure you interact below. When you interact with a reading, you do pull the energy closer to you, so make sure you interact below. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post new pick a card tarot readings just like this one every single week, so I hope to see you here again soon. Until next time, bye, pal 1. Hi, pal 2. If you chose the Tiger's Eye point, this is going to be your reading. Let's go ahead and get right into the tarot cards. We're reading the 8 of Swords, the Sovereign of Cups, High Sage, Strength, 5 of Coins, and the 5 of Swords. All right, so before we actually get into the tarot cards, let's talk about the Tiger's Eye point and why you may have been drawn to the Tiger's Eye point for this particular reading about the journey to your marriage partner. So if you were attracted to this Tiger's Eye point, it's really telling me that you're ready to step out of any fear that you have about love or relationships and into confidence. You were drawn to this pile because you chose a love story that is centered around reclaiming your power. Tiger's Eye is actually a warrior crystal. It helps us dissolve any self-doubt, victimhood, and emotional paralysis. So you may have been feeling like you don't even know yourself and that you're very lost in life. But the Tiger's Eye is going to help you stand tall and see clearly and stop giving your power away, especially in love. So your marriage journey is really going to begin when you stop shrinking yourself. That is why you may have been attracted to the tiger's eye. But let's now go into the tarot cards. We're starting off with the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is Jupiter in Gemini energy, and it does talk about things like negative thoughts, self-imposed restrictions, imprisonment, and having a victim mentality. So previous love relationships that you might have been in, you might have put a lot of self-imposed restrictions on yourself. Maybe you were saying like, oh, I have to do this, this, and this because of my relationship. I have to limit myself in this way because I want the other person to shine. I don't want to outshine my partner, etc. But the thing is, you have really trapped your own self in those type of thoughts. You feel like love never works. You feel like you're stuck repeating the old same emotional story or the same love story again and again in different relationships. This is all about you not learning your lesson. If you do feel like the relationships that you enter just are the same again and again, different person, but same story, then that means that a lesson is not being learned. The Eight of Swords, again, being connected to that Jupiter in Gemini energy, is showing mental prisons, straight up mental prisons. So usually this card shows somebody like sitting down with thoughts all around them, which is the swords, and their eyes are covered. So with that being said, the Eight of Swords really shows that you're trapped in your own negative thoughts. And I just want to make it very clear, it's not that you deserve these lessons or deserve these things, but your soul wanted to go through these lessons to break yourself out of those negative thoughts, out of that self-imposed restriction. You are so able to change your mentality. Okay, you're so able. You are so able to change your fate. You're so able to change your beliefs. It just really starts off small. So you giving yourself affirmations, trying to refocus your mind on the things that you've actually accomplished and achieved and the positive side of your life rather than just allowing those negative thoughts to run. So you have to interrupt your negative thoughts with a positive thought, actively doing that. And it's a slow and steady process. I'm not saying that it's going to be tomorrow. I'm not saying it's next week or even next month. It is the slow and steady progress of bringing out of that mental prison. Okay, so this card starting off the whole reading really marks this phase of you trying in love, but you were still thinking out of a fearful place. So it was affecting your love life. And that's why lessons kept repeating in love for you. Okay, your soulmate can't find you because you weren't emotionally ready yet. You weren't emotionally free from your negative thoughts to even attract this person in. So once you are able to start breaking yourself out of that mental prison, the marriage partner will come in. Let's go ahead and move on to the Sovereign of Cups. The Sovereign of Cups is the Queen of Cups in this particular deck. And this is a compassionate queen. She's caring, she's emotionally stable, intuitive, and in flow. So once you break out of those negative thoughts, everything is going to change for you. So here are the signs. You're going to start seeing yourself being more caring about the people around you, about yourself, giving yourself more compassion and other people around you compassion as well. Even old relationships that you've been in, you can let go with compassion. You don't have to hate the person. You don't have to anything the person. You could just honestly block them, have compassion for the situation, and just move forward. When you start seeing yourself being more emotionally stable, listening to your intuition more, and your life is just like flowing easily, that's your sign that your marriage partner will come in soon. So this energy, the Sovereign of Cups, Queen of Cups, is connected to Gemini and Cancer. So that might be in your chart or that might be in your partner's chart. And this is really just showing me you are a naturally deeply loving person that is intuitive and emotionally intelligent, but previous relationships or even negative thoughts may have taken you out of that energy. Maybe you haven't been very free with your love because of the negative thoughts. And this Queen here is showing that over time you're going to gain that emotional mastery and breaking out of those mental prisons that you've created for yourself. You're not a cold person, but the world around you can turn you cold. Relationships can turn you cold. You have that tendency. However, if you are strong, and you are, with fighting those negative thoughts, fighting those imprisonments, then you're going to realize that actually you're a deeply loving person, a deeply intuitive person that's very, very, very compassionate. So this card is also asking you to stop pouring so much into other people, especially the people that don't pour back into you, because that's what makes you cold. That's what makes you shut down and not really see yourself anymore, not really have that in-touchness with yourself anymore. So your heart is a true gift. However, it's not meant to be sacrificed. Okay, you were just giving to the point where you lost yourself. Okay, so we're going to move forward now. We have the High Sage here, which is the High Priestess. So you already know the truth about your love life with this card coming up. You just haven't trusted it. You knew that this person is not good for you, but you just kept going along with it. You kept staying in the relationship, and that's really giving the energy of ignoring your intuition. The High Priestess, or the High Sage in this particular tarot, is connected to moon and water energy, and it's talking all about intuition, sacred knowledge, divine feminine, subconscious, secrets, wisdom, and the spiritual world. So getting more in touch with that feminine side of the world, getting more in touch with your intuition, getting more in touch with your subconscious mind through meditation, through studying spiritual texts, etc. This is going to really help you because you're going to get intuitive insights. The High Priestess is that divine feminine intuition. So she knows who is safe and who is not safe. However, I feel like you had ignored your intuition about who is safe and who is not safe in the past, which led you to those type of partners that I was mentioning before. So your journey really requires you to trust that inner knowing, that inner voice, instead of listening to outside voices, your partners, or even fear. So your marriage partner is going to be chosen by your intuition, not by chemistry and passion. I feel like you did gravitate towards chemistry and passion in the past, and that has not really necessarily caused the best relationships for you because that chemistry, that passion isn't the only thing that works in a relationship. It could start obviously very passionate relationship, but it doesn't mean that that is the safe partner for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on to strength. The strength card is really showing me that you're actually learning how to be emotionally strong without being hard, because inside you're a loving person, you're a soft person, you're a gentle person with that Queen of Cups coming up in the beginning right here. But people can harden you, like I said earlier. Like the relationships that you associate with can harden you. They can make you cold because they're not in alignment with you. So you start to adopt their energy, their feelings, and that's why things haven't worked out for you. So with this strength card coming up, strength is really showing me that your strength is going to come from being confident within yourself and who you actually are. Getting that silence, that retreat away from certain people so you know who you are. This is compassion with boundaries. You're always going to be a compassionate person. You're always going to be a loving person, but you can have boundaries. Okay, you can absolutely have boundaries. This card is really showing up to show you that you're actually powerful enough to say no. No to things that do not align with you, no to unhealthy love, no to toxic patterns and relationships, and saying yes to real, true, aligned love. Your soulmate is going to be drawn into you when you start to claim your power. Okay, so that moves us into the Five of Coins. The Five of Coins is really showing me that you might have even experienced either emotional or financial insecurity in love. It's giving the energy of wanting, let's say, X, Y, and Z, like whatever it is in a relationship, but not really getting that out of the other person because that's not who they are. They can't provide that because they don't have that in them at all. But you kept choosing partners that can't even provide things that you deeply need in a relationship. So this card typically talks about actually financial loss, poverty, lack mindset, isolation, and worry. So maybe you really wanted a relationship that was full of reassurance and connection, like always being connected to the other person. However, you keep picking these people that always put you in some type of worry mindset, some type of lack mindset. Maybe they truly had a lack mindset, maybe they had financial problems, or maybe they just liked being alone. Like they're people that actually don't even like relationships and they're like introverts, but you wanted something more connecting. But for some reason, you just kept picking those type of people. So that is a sign that you're moving away from that. And this card typically is talking about Mercury and Taurus energy. So this is a stubborn energy as well, a stubborn way of thinking. So with that coming up, it shows that it's not like you were lacking consciousness. You were very conscious about what you wanted. However, you just weren't choosing yourself in those moments where you're like, I consciously know that this is not in alignment with what I want, but I'm still staying because that's stubborn energy. So there's a good potential that you were afraid that you wouldn't be chosen, provided for, or supported if you left that particular relationship. But it's realizing that you're living in a very abundant universe and that you can be chosen. You can be provided for and supported all at the same time. So this wound that you might be carrying is really what made you accept less than what you deserve in particular relationships because you just felt like you maybe couldn't find better. Maybe you were the one that was thinking in lack mindset. Maybe you were the one that was isolating yourself. Maybe you were the one that was full of worries. Okay. So once you break out of that, once you start healing that, that's when your marriage partner is going to be able to enter your life freely. You might have already actually even met your marriage partner for some of you pile twos. However, you just always thought this person is like my friend. This person is like my colleague. This person is like not somebody that is supposed to be with me because I can't have them. Maybe they're very charming. Maybe you do like them or had a crush on them or you're fond of them, but you just feel like this person won't like you. That also is showing lack mindset. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the last card here, the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is Venus and Aquarius energy, which is not really the most comfortable place for Venus because Venus is all about that love, beauty, and luxury, but Aquarius is about being unconventional, innovative, and out of the box. That's showing me that there might have been power struggles in love because this is also talking about conflicts, disagreements, competition, defeat, and winning at all costs. Really strategic energy here. So maybe in the past there had been that strategic energy, power struggle in love, and you adopting other people's emotions, other people's mannerisms. And if you're with really toxic people, then it just shows that instead of connecting, you were competing in love. Maybe this person was really career oriented and only cared about achieving things and success. And maybe you started to adopt that, even though what you really want is connection. With the Five of Swords coming up, this really shows in past relationships, what you're trying to get away from is that emotional competition, away from ego clashes, and away from winning any type of competitions. Let's say like you're competing in your careers. Instead of trying to win and compete, you're trying to connect. So once you realize that you're trying to connect and you're going to be choosing other people that want to connect, that's when your marriage partner really comes in. So your journey really involves walking away from relationships that require you to fight to feel and be loved. Your marriage partner does not belittle you. They do not battle with you. They're going to stand with you. And that's a sign of who that person is going to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward into your oracle cards now. That was it for the tarot portion of the story. All right, so this is your oracle card. Okay, what I'm seeing out of here, it kind of looks like he's crying. I feel like he's an emotional person and also is very connected to his intuition. This could also be a girl, actually, whoever it is. The colors here are really connected to the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, so really close to that intuition and also a transformative kind of energy because of the butterflies here. Okay, so maybe this is transforming your emotions. Maybe this is really tapping into your third eye and your crown chakra, which is about your intuition, to guide you towards your marriage partner. Okay. Reflection, give each other some space at the moment, trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. All right, so for some of you, you could be in a decent relationship that could be worked on with some time and space, but honestly, for most of you, I'm really sensing that this particular message is actually talking about you and your marriage partner are apart right now because you both need to be working on your individual selves. So this isn't about not getting this person or your marriage partner. This is about really reevaluating, recalibrating your own self so you can attract this person. So this person feels safe to be in your presence. So space between you and this person, whether it is your actual marriage partner or whether it is the energy of the Eight of Swords, which is that negative thoughts that you were having towards love and relationships, whatever it is, that space to have alone really provides you clarity, healing, and emotional realignment, which is really key for your relationship at this time. Trust that love and your marriage partner is really being prepared for you behind the scenes, but you have to do your part. You have to do your work on your end. You can't just magically wish things are all going to be in alignment. You have to do your work, okay? So let's go ahead and move forward. We're getting Pisces, Mystic, number 12 here. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 is the number of communication and also things like creativity. So with that being said, the Pisces card coming up is really showing me that maybe you felt like you needed some type of guru. Maybe you're over relying on pick a card readings. Even though I'm here making pick a card readings, I want you to, after this, be in control of your own life and not rely on me or anybody else. So the truth here with this coming up is you don't need any type of guru. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do with your life. You have everything inside of you. You already have the answers. I think you're just looking for confirmation with this here. And that's fine. That's what mystics do. They help guide people that are feeling lost. And that's what I'm trying to do here. But everything I'm saying to you is hitting with you because you already know. I'm just here to confirm it. So the Pisces energy here really shows me a spiritual authority here. So this is not spiritual authority from the outside. This is your own inner spiritual authority that you know that you have. So your marriage partner is going to come in when you stop asking others who to be, what to do, and start honoring your own inner self, your own inner intuition, because all of us have that mystic energy that we could tap into. So most of us just ignore it. Most of us just doubt it because we can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it. It's all inside that we doubt things, that we second guess ourselves. That's a very common thing for people to do, to ignore the intuition or not really be tapped into their intuition. But once you grow in your own confidence of your intuition, of who you are, that confidence that you're going to exude is going to magnetize in your marriage partner. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. We're getting the peacock confidence. Okay, was I literally not just talking about confidence? But like literally what that's telling me is that maybe you guys really lacked confidence, and that shows in the Eight of Swords because it's talking about negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, and having a victim mentality. So basically the polar opposite of being confident. So once you realize each person has their own unique traits that you can lean into, your unique strengths, that's going to make you confident. So here's an example. Let's say that you're really like, you look up to somebody that's like super organized with their life, they have a lot of discipline, you're so in love with that quality of them, but you don't have that quality naturally. That's not one of your strengths. So you're gonna feel like shit because you're looking at somebody and you're comparing yourself to somebody that has a strength that you do not have. Instead of doing that, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I want to be as disciplined as this person. Okay, you can work on that. That's one of your weaknesses that you can start working on to strengthen it. But maybe you have the strength of connecting with people. Maybe you have the strength, because we do have the Queen of Cups here. You have the strength of being caring. You have the strength of being compassionate. You have the strength of intuition and emotional stability, unless you're connecting with toxic people, right? So if that's your strength, lean into your strength of being a good friend. That is a quality, by the way. Some people are not good friends. Some people cannot connect with people. They don't like sitting there listening to other people's problems and caring about their problems and being compassionate. They don't do that. That's not them. Like, some people are like career people. Some people are disciplined people. Some people are really fiery spiritual people. Some people are really, really intelligent, like straight A's without even trying type of people. So you have to figure out which one of those, or any type of strengths. There's so many strengths out there. But sometimes I think people don't really see being good at relationships, being good at friendships, being emotionally stable for their friends as a strength, but that is definitely a strength. That's a strength that not everybody has. So when you lean into your strengths, you're going to realize that you're unique, like a peacock is, and you can shine your strengths without feeling cocky, because peacock is here. Don't feel cocky, don't feel arrogant. You were given that strength for you to use it. Okay, so the peacock energy here is radiant self-expression. So if your strength is being a good friend, be confident that you are a good friend and radiate that self-expression. Start being a good friend to everybody, okay? Because that is what you were gifted, okay? Again, not everyone has that gift. So you start to attract your soulmate in when you let your true self be visible. Not when you try to copy other people, not when you try to get inspired by other people, even jealous of other people. Again, I'm just going to use that quality of discipline. If you are not really a disciplined person, maybe you're a more loosey-goosey type of person, because I'm going off with the Pisces energy, honestly. Pisces is going to be a good friend, passionate. And so maybe you're not really an earthy type of person. You know, maybe you're not really, that's not really you. Okay. So maybe you're not really a business person. So why would you think that you need to be that when that's not even your strength? Just really hone in on your strengths and you'll see your life unfold. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on. We're getting the rescuer. So the light attribute says provides strength and support to others in crisis. Okay, literally, what was I just saying? Like, I feel like that's crazy. Acts out of love with no expectation of a reward. Okay, shadow attribute says assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Okay, with that being said, I'm really sensing that you are a good friend. You probably rescue your friends literally all the time. You probably are always listening to their problems. You're always trying to help them and support them. And I feel like you lean towards the light attribute of this, where you're providing that strength for other people, where you're really supporting other people, especially when they're going through really bad times. And you're doing it out of the love of your heart. So that is your strength. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's strength right here. So I'm really sensing that when you focus on your strengths, you're going to be more confident. And I really do think one of your strengths is just that emotional realm. Okay, so we're going to go through the emotional things again. So water energy, which is Pisces, okay, Pisces energy, and Pisces, that like watery energy, the emotional energy. We're also going to tap into the Queen of Cups right here. Those things are really telling me that when you go deeper and deeper into your own compassion, for yourself and for the people around you, when you go deeper and deeper into your caring side, when you try to focus on being emotionally stable. I feel like you're somebody that's emotionally stable most of the time, except when you're giving to the wrong people. So that's going to take you out of emotional stability. But for the most part, you're very intuitive, you're quite in flow, and you probably rescue your friends. You're very good at relationships. You're good at healing subconscious things like meditation and connecting with other human beings. That is your strength. Okay, so lean into that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're getting the Swan, which is grace and confidence. Number 13 here. 1 + 3 is 4. 4 is a number of building, actually. Building, home, family, things like that. So I'm sensing that you probably really want to build your own family. You want to build your own home, a sanctuary for yourself and your family. And that is something that's really, really beautiful. I feel like you also have a lot of grace in your energy. Oh my God, this says confidence again. So there's 2 cards that says confidence here. And that's really just showing me that I feel like the wrong relationships for you are the ones that take you out of your confidence. I think that you're a naturally confident person, but again, certain relationships that you have been in really take you out of that confidence. So when you step back into your elegance and your confidence, that's when you're going to magnetize in your marriage partner. I feel like you lost a little bit of that during your search for the right person and potentially being in wrong and bad relationships. But once you leave those wrong, bad relationships, your confidence will return, your elegance and grace will return, and that is going to magnetize in your marriage partner, because your marriage partner is going to finally be able to meet you where you are and see and appreciate your beauty and your worth, unlike old relationships that might have kept you in this negative thoughts or this victim mentality. Okay, so your journey to your marriage partner really begins when you leave behind those type of relationships, leave behind those fears and insecurities and even emotional battles, because we did get the 5 of Swords here, and stop shrinking yourself and trying to be small to make the other person comfortable. Okay, when you start standing tall, when you start being confident in yourself, start leaning into your strengths, that's when you're going to get your marriage partner. So this is truly a soul level love that I'm seeing on the table here. This is somebody that's going to really be able to meet you where you are when you fully claim your intuition, your confidence, and your self-worth. And your partner is going to actually meet you as an equal. They're not going to be some type of rescue project, okay? You're not going to need to rescue them like you have been rescuing your friends, and they're not going to be rescuing you like you've been rescuing your friends. Both of you seem to be emotionally stable people that are good at connecting. So that is your true marriage partner. Your marriage is not going to end up being built on sacrifice. It's going to be built on mutual confidence and mutual sovereignty from you and the other person, because we did get the Sovereign of Cups here, okay? So with that being said, pile number 2, that was all I have for you today. I really enjoyed this reading. If you enjoyed the reading like I did, make sure you give me a big like down below. And of course, comment down pile number 2 below. Tell me what you're excited for. Tell me what you resonated with. I love to see your comments. It's my favorite thing about the channel. When you interact with a reading, you actually bring the energy closer to you. So make sure you interact below. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post new pick a card tarot readings just like this one every single week. So I hope to see you here again soon. Until next time, bye pile 2. Hi pile 3. If you chose the green aventurine point, this is going to be your reading. All right, let's go ahead and get right into your tarot cards. So we're getting the 9 of Swords, we're getting Death, Ace of Wands, 6 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and the 10 of Cups. So the journey to your marriage partner is actually not a simple, straightforward line, because we're getting negative, transformative, positive, kind of a walk away type of energy to the final point of the 10 of Cups, which is everything you probably ever wanted in a marriage, which is the family aspect, the kids, the happy rainbow, literally everything. But before we get into the tarot cards, let's go ahead and actually talk about the green aventurine point and why you may have been drawn to the green aventurine point. So with the green aventurine point being here, green aventurine is the stone of new beginnings. You may have been through situations that really brought emotional chaos, but you're going away from that energy. That's no longer attracting you anymore. The new beginnings comes to you when your heart is ready to actually heal and open up again. Because of the chaos that you went through, you're going to need that time to heal. So this crystal really carries heart chakra renewal. It is connected to the heart chakra, and it also is connected to things like emotional optimism, really feeling you're deserving of love and that you can attract love into your life no matter how hard of a situation that you might have been through, okay? You might have gone through some crazy stuff in relationships. You might have gone through just pure chaos and confusion, but this Crystal shows me that you have been hurt before, disappointed before, or even afraid about love. But now you are ready to love again in a healthier way, a completely different way. And the journey to your marriage partner is going to begin with that hope returning into your life. All right, and that is all I have for the crystal portion of the story. Let's go ahead and talk about the tarot portion of the story now. Let's start with the Nine of Swords right here. So the Nine of Swords is showing me that you have carried a lot of anxiety, fear, and even heartbreak about love. Because the Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini energy, and this is directly connected to themes of anxiety, worry, fear, depression, or even nightmares. So this card really shows late nights of overthinking, emotional pain, and even self-blame about the situations that you've been in. You felt like maybe I can't find love, maybe I'm not deserving of love, maybe things are just not right for me in love, maybe I'm cursed in love. Those are the type of thoughts and feelings that come up when the Nine of Swords comes up. So you've been afraid that love might never work out for you. But that is not your destiny. That is just a wound that you have. That's just a negative thought pattern that you have. And you might be putting yourself in situations that reaffirm that energy, but it's your own choices that put you in that energy. And I'm not blaming you for anything because you have free will and you're able to change things at any time. You could change overnight. You can literally decide overnight, this ain't it for me, and dip. That's fine. You're really allowed to do that. You're not meant to or have to stay in these negative relationships that just drain you. So your soulmate does not meet you at this portion of the story. They'll meet you after this. So let's go ahead and move forward. There's a death card here. So death could come off as scary, but it's really just water energy and Scorpio energy. So this is talking about transformation. This is talking about endings, a change, and transition. So just because an ending happens doesn't mean your life is over. A new beginning is right on the other side of that ending. So transformation is something we cannot avoid in life. I mean, some people are surely going to try to avoid it, but the truth is you're not going to be able to avoid transformation. You're going to evolve as a person, whether it's for the good or for the bad. And it might as well be for the good, okay? So with the death card coming up, a major chapter in your life has actually ended or soon to end. And that's not something that you should be scared about. This is actually a really good ending that's happening because this thing that's ending is no longer in alignment with your energy and your vision for your life. So death and the Scorpio energy really means emotional rebirth. You may become a completely different person. Maybe you're somebody that does a lot of self-deprecation, somebody that really has a lot of self-doubt and really low confidence, but you may be entering a period of major confidence, major self-assurance, and really being confident about your strengths. So this could be also talking about old relationships, meaning old romantic relationships, old friendships, even old family members that you just no longer resonate with their negative energy anymore. So this could talk about death and rebirth of old versions of you, old trauma that you are going to be processing and shedding, okay? All of it is being shed at this time. And this can feel scary because it seems like you're giving up all of these old things of your life, but it is so you can attract a new beginning, a new version of your life, one that's way better for you. You deserve this. You've done a lot of work up until this point to deserve something like this. So this ending that's coming is really necessary. So this new love story, this journey to your marriage partner can come. Your past really does have to die so your future can start and be born, okay? So let's go ahead and move forward to the Ace of Wands. This is a lovely card to see after the death card because actually this is fire energy. So after water, we have fire, which means that after you cleanse your emotions and really begin to heal, and potentially even do subconscious work through meditation, visualization, or dream work, you are going to be transitioning into fire energy, which means inspiration is going to enter back into your life. You're going to get energy again and even start getting that wild, raw, passionate, exciting energy back into your life. So this Ace of Wands is a very fiery card. It is beginning the fire energy, right? So it's talking about inspiration, new opportunities, growth, and potential. So you finally are getting new opportunities in your life. You're starting to grow and you're seeing potential of what your future has for you. And also this is very much a symbol for a new spark entering your life. As you can see, she's holding soil and a whole tree is coming from it. So that's coming straight from her or his hands. And it's showing that you're able to grow the things that you actually want to put your energy towards. So anything that you feed, anything that you water, you put soil on, you let it be in the sunlight, all those things, you really nurture it, it's going to grow in your life. So this is showing me a divine level of passion, excitement, and creativity in your life, especially in your romantic life, because this is talking about the journey to your marriage partner. So romance is going to be entering your life again soon. So maybe you were in relationships that gave you nothing but anxiety, fear. There was no romance element at all in this type of energy. So then you left it And now you're realizing, I'm allowed to have romance. I'm allowed to have creativity. I'm allowed to have passion. I'm allowed to have fire and energy and just all these lovely, wild, raw things, because that's part of life as well. That's part of relationships as well. So you're not meant for numb love. I feel like you were really in situations where it just felt so numb and honestly uninspiring. You just felt like maybe we're just here together. Maybe this is what love is. Maybe it's supposed to be bland. Maybe it's supposed to be numb. Maybe it's supposed to be gray. No, absolutely not. It is not. It's supposed to be freaking rainbow. It's supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be passionate. And that's what you're meant for. So you're meant to have a love that inspires you and that is alive. So your marriage partner really enters when you have gone through the death and you're ready for a fresh beginning. When you start to feed into yourself, so you've gone through this crazy thing, a breakup, some trauma, some death period, maybe reinventing yourself, and maybe when you start a new hobby, a new passion, you're going to be meeting this marriage partner because you're finally feeding into yourself and you're doing things that you're passionate about. Maybe picking up hobbies, and that's when that fresh beginning is really going to start blossoming for you. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords coming after this death and after the Ace of Wands is really showing me that there will probably be residuals of your past coming up while you're trying to move into your new life, and that is totally normal. The Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius energy, and this card typically talks about transition, change, rite of passage, and releasing baggage. So while you're going through this transition, while you're going through this change, you're changing up your life, you're doing things that are more in alignment with you, you're going to, like a rite of passage, have waves of things from your past come up, have moments and times where you feel your past is calling to you or coming up in your mind. And those are moments where you're allowed to sit there. Don't push it down. You're allowed to sit there, really feel it. Depends on what you're doing and where you are. But if you could just give yourself a moment and just really feel those feelings, identify the feelings, and realize that they are passing feelings. This is a moment and a lesson of releasing baggage. So this is really showing that things are going to come up, even if you have made the choice to end things, to totally change your life and transition to a different phase of your life. These two things are transition. So that's the reason why I felt, even though you went through something hard and you were ready to move on and have new inspiration for your life, things and residual things will come up, even this card here, but we'll get to that. So with these two, talking about transition, the transition isn't going to be just 1 day, 1 week, super smooth, you're done. It's going to be waves. You've made the hard decision of, let's say, breaking up. That's the main point. But then after that, there's going to be times where cycles come where you're feeling sad about that decision and even doubtful about the decision. But you've got to keep moving forward because this is talking about change and transition. So it doesn't say go back. It says keep going. But you will have those times where you just have those negative thoughts. So with that being said, the Six of Swords is all about moving away from pain. It is going to be painful to make those type of decisions, a breakup, an ending of some sort, to move away from it. It's going to be painful. But this is truly a rite of passage. You are emotionally leaving an old world entirely. And now you're entering into a new one. So when you're going from one world to another world, it's going to be messy. It's going to have your heart feeling you're surviving through the days. But eventually when you get through those days and you are going to survive them, you're going to begin to start living again and positivity will enter your life again. So your soulmate is really waiting on the other side of you fully crossing this. So I'm sensing that you might meet your partner, your marriage partner, sometime between the transition. But the thing is, while you start developing feelings for this new person, your marriage partner, I'm sensing that there's some residuals that really need to be let go of. And it's okay to have residuals. I think that's very normal. And I think that honestly, depending on the timeline here, if it's recent, I would encourage that you give yourself enough time to get mostly over it. I'm not saying you have to be 100% over it. That's probably ideal. But if you can even get 70 to 80% over it before starting to get to know the other person more, that's probably a really good point. You don't have to be 100%. So then we move on to the Eight of Swords, which is another kind of heavy card. As you can see, in reality, she has all of these thoughts, the arrows are thoughts, in her backpack, and she's in control of that. That's her backpack, and she is not tied up. However, when she's looking at herself, which is when she's reflecting potentially on the past, that she is all tied up. she's tied up on this loose string. She could break out of it. She's blindfolded. And so when you're reflecting on the past, when you're thinking about the past, when you're trying to move forward, you are going to be bringing in those negative thoughts. You are going to be bringing in those even self-imposed restrictions in the terms of you already met the person that is going to be your future marriage partner. You feel positive about this person. You feel inspired when you meet this person. You can see a potential with this person. However, you have all these negative thoughts about your old relationship, and it brings up anxiety. It brings up worry and fear. What if this person is going to have the same type of energy as my last person, and it just gets muddy. And so the thing is to deal with that in private. You're going through a transition, a change, a transformation, and it should be in private. That's the truth. Because when you're trying to end something, and when you're trying to get away from the energy of pain, you don't want to bring that pain into something new that could have a lot of opportunity, inspiration. So you don't want to muddy the energy of inspiration and love with the old stuff. So you really want to deal with that in private. Obviously, she's alone while she's reflecting. So it's okay to reflect. It's okay to have cycles. It's okay to be sad when you're going through those things. But don't keep yourself in that imprisonment. Don't keep yourself in that victim mentality. Don't keep yourself in those negative thoughts and restricting yourself. This is also Jupiter and Gemini energy. So that's really telling me that you're really learning to free yourself from those old thought patterns that you are used to defaulting to. So this is also giving the energy of waking up and your first thoughts being of your older relationship or old pains that you've gone through. So really actively fighting that. So maybe you wake up and the first thought is like, gosh, I'm sad. Gosh, I'm really depressed about this thing in my life. So actively fighting that. That thought can come. But I do encourage you to interrupt it and say, today is a new day. Okay, today is a new opportunity, a new day. I am inspired. Say something that is actually believable and true, which I do think those things that I just said are believable and true for your life and anybody's life, honestly. So with that being said, this card really shows that you have gone through a lot of pain, okay? But that pain, even though it is gone and in the past, the habit of holding on to that pain is still there. It's still lingering. So your journey really includes the learning aspect of realizing that healing takes time and you're no longer trapped in the negative situation. You're moved on from the negative situation, but there's going to be those residuals. So you're really going through a process of emotional unbinding, which is everybody that goes through a breakup has to go through a process of emotional unbinding. So you're doing well. You're going to be able to get through this. And when you do get through this, you're going to get your 10 of Cups, which is a lovely card to end off with. This is talking about divine love, blissful relationships, harmony, and alignment. So after you've gone through all the things that you've gone through, divine love wants to enter your life. This is Mars in Pisces energy. So Mars is our fiery energy, right? Our action planet. And Pisces is a very actually loving and intuitive sign that's very soft, gentle, compassionate, empathetic. So you're going towards that energy of unification, of divine love, blissful relationships. That's where your action wants to go towards. That's what you're desiring. So the 10 of Cups is really showing me that you're actually destined for having real love and real happiness in your love life. You're not destined to be stuck in this anxiety, this worry, this fear, all these depression and nightmares that you have from this type of relationship that you've been in. You're going to be releasing that type of baggage so you can attract in this divine love. Once you heal, you're going to be in emotional alignment, and then you're going to bring in your soulmate. This is talking about family. This is having your own family. This is about joy, peace, warmth, fulfillment, all those things. This is creating a family that is different than even the family that you came from. Even different than the family of the person that you will marry comes from. You guys are coming together to co-create your own family. So this is the marriage you are walking towards. This is not about overgiving. This is not about staying in worry, anxiety, and fear. This is about meeting somebody that is a true heart match, a true blissful relationship, and in alignment. So this is truly the love that you have always hoped for when the 10 of Cups ends off the reading. Let's go ahead and move on. So this is the back of an oracle card I got for you. We're done with the tarot portion of the story, so we're going oracle cards now. And I'm sensing this is very angelic. So this just gives me angel energy that you're divinely protected. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. Okay, literally confirmation of what I was just saying. These two cards are talking about transition. You were given this new possibility, this new inspiration, but there's residuals because it's on both sides. There's transition. So you have to let go of the past, and it's going to take time. I'm not saying that you're not going to have these moments. You're going to have these moments. But if you truly want the 10 of Cups, you gotta deal with these moments in private, the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords. This is behind you. Take your time, feel it, embrace it, but release it at the end of it. So follow your path of your journey to your marriage partner, which is going to give you a completely different energy and feeling than any other relationship has. So the universe is here really opening a new door for you. The only thing that's truly required of you for now is dealing with your emotions in private, dealing with that transition and transformation and that ending in private, and then having faith that you are deserving of love and that a marriage partner is coming for you. Your soulmate really exists on the path that is ahead of you, the path of healing, the path of moving forward, and you're not going to be finding your soulmate and your marriage partner from the past. So you're really going to have to move on from the past so you can get into this future vision that you have for your life. So let's move on to your other oracle cards. We're getting Leo, Creatress, number 5. Number 5 is a number of change, actually, even travel. So this is really showing me that you have a lot of inspiration to change your life, change your circumstances, even change your entire relationship trajectory. And Leo is a very creative sign itself. So I feel like you are able to co-create with the universe anything that you want. Honestly, I feel there's been a lot of manifestations that have come true for you in your life before. And you just got to keep going on that path. So you're really meant to shine with this Leo coming up as well, because Leo loves to shine. Leo is very comfortable. Leo's ruled by the sun, and the sun shines every day. So even if it's a rainy day, even if it's a cloudy day, actually the sun is up. You just can't see it. It's a little bit blocked, but it's up, okay? So you're meant to shine no matter what. Rain or shine, you're here, okay? So as you express yourself creatively and authentically, you really become magnetic to the people around you. You're really going to be able to magnetize your soulmate in. Your marriage partner is going to be drawn to your light, not your wounds, okay? So if you're always a sad girl, if you're always projecting out your wounds, then this person is not going to be really drawn to that. So you do have to deal with those things in private. But after you do, you're going to be joyful again. And you're going to be shining and magnetic again. And that joyful, shining, magnetic energy is going to really activate that love and draw in that love towards your life. So let's go ahead and move forward. We're getting the Rabbit, fertility. So for some of y'all, you really wanted a family of your own. I'm really sensing that. So the person that you might have been with before, maybe they kept telling you that they want a family, they were egging you on, but nothing was really moving forward towards actually having that family. But with the Ten of Cups here, and obviously it has a picture of a family, it's really showing me that you're a very fertile person, even in your creativity and even in future children. And also, in general, if we take children and family out of it, you're just entering a fertile phase of your life. You're entering an abundant new chapter of your life where you're realizing that you can have anything that you want. You just have to focus on it. The rabbit energy is really an energy of creation. It's an energy of life force and new beginnings. With rabbits, their birth cycle and how many babies they can make, that energy is crazy. I watch a lot of animal videos because I want to know the qualities of each animal. And actually, I ended up somehow on a rabbit hole and I was watching farmers and how they raise their animals because I wanted to see from a human perspective what qualities they would see in different farm animals. And there was a farmer that said, honestly, if we were to go through some type of something where we all have to be off grid, rabbits would be one of the main animals that they would recommend a small farm or even a backyard farm to raise because rabbits can reproduce really quickly. And it doesn't take them that long to get to that full size. So I know some of you might be vegan and stuff or vegetarian, so I'm not trying to put that image out there, but it's really just the energy of how fast they can create and how fast they could take those creations to fruition and growth. So that energy, just tap into that energy, not really thinking about eating rabbit or anything, but just the energy of that. Basically, farmers who their whole job is to create things, is to pick the most fertile, productive thing in terms of animals and creation. And them saying that rabbits are one of the fastest creations, one of the most abundant creations, really shows that energy of fast creation, life force, fertility, abundance really coming into your life. And this is a new chapter for you. This is a new beginning for you. And love is going to grow quickly here. Love is really going to grow when you start nurturing your desires and focusing and honing in on your desires instead of keep on looking at the past and suppressing your desires, because I feel like you are a little bit stuck in the past and stuck in old relationship dynamics and even fears about old relationship dynamics coming into your life. Okay, so really, really take that time and move forward. I really do believe in you, and I think that you can move forward. And once you do, bam, fertility, abundance, creation, life force, all up in your life. Okay. Let's move forward. Ooh, child magical. The light attribute says, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. I'm going to pause there because I really do sense that maybe in the past you lost your magic, because we have some crazy cards here. This is quite negative. There's a whole tornado here, okay? And then this person is going away. Why is this guy smirking? I don't like that. That's your ex. And then you're getting trapped up. So you lost that magical side, but you're gaining that back. So the shadow attribute here says pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So that shadow side, I feel like, is what the relationship that you were leaving is going to be. The relationship that you're leaving triggered that out of you, the shadow side. But the relationship that you're destined for, that you're going to be end up married to, is going to bring out the light attribute of this magical child. The potential in everything side, the sacred beauty side of it, and the belief that everything is possible. It's going to come from your marriage partner. And it's very connected to the rabbit as well, because I feel the rabbit, again, with that fast creation and that reproductive ability, that fertility, is really going to show the beauty in life and just creating life and creating a life and a vision for you and your future family as well. So let's go ahead and move on. We're getting Rhino, stability and calmness. So your marriage partner is going to bring stability and calmness for you. So this is, let's say you're the feminine. This is your masculine, and I'm not saying he's a rhino, but he's just so stable. You're just gonna be napping on top of him, all relaxed and stuff. You don't even have clothes on. You're just relaxed because that's the stability that he's providing for your life. And number 31 up here, number 3 and 1 is 4. 4 is the number of stabilities. 4 is the number of working hard. It is that groundedness. So if you're a life path 4, for example, you're probably a very hard worker, very stable. You could be, I know rhinos aren't oxes, but maybe you're the year of the ox. So that really stable energy is what that marriage partner is going to provide for you. And that's very different than the things that you've had in the past, because the people that you might have been connected to in the past probably brought only instability, okay? They probably, right here, they probably only brought emotional unsteadiness into your life. But the marriage partner is going to bring you rhino energy, which is showing emotional steadiness. I just feel like I just relaxed, and I see 555 on the clock right now. So I just feel like I just leaned back for a second after just being so hyped up this entire reading. So I feel you have been so hyped up emotionally throughout all of your relationships, and then finally when you meet your marriage partner, when you finally get connected, you get to lean back for a second and just relax. I feel like I just finally took a breath. I feel I've been talking really fast, and I feel in previous relationships that you had always rush to explain yourself, and that's not the energy of your marriage partner, okay? So really, the rhino is grounded, calm strength, somebody that you can rely on. And this marriage really comes to you when you're no longer in that panic, frantic energy that I've been feeling throughout this reading. And it comes in when you start to trust. Trust that you're deserving of love. Trust that you're deserving of a relationship that brings you stability and calmness. Trust that you did nothing wrong and you didn't go through the lessons in love that you went through because of some type of punishment. You went through those lessons so you can learn. It's just really that simple. So pile number 3, your journey to your marriage partner is all about healing, letting go of the past, and really allowing new love to grow without interference of past things coming up. You are allowed to deal with your past things and your emotions and your feelings in private and even with friends and family. But I do recommend for this particular pile that the love that's coming into your life should be free of anything of the past. And I'm just getting this sigh energy. And I don't know if the number 27 is very significant to you, but I just saw 3 27s. So that must be meaning something. And so 2 plus 7 is 9. So potentially the number of completion, the number of ending, the number of transition and change. So also adaptability. So all those themes coming up into your reading in a relationship again. So pile 3, I really sense the journey to your marriage partner is all about letting go of the past and healing. So don't bring all that stuff into your new relationship. This is truly a soulmate union that's going to be built on emotional rebirth, creative joy, and even having this deep inner stability. And they're going to further stabilize you and bring more stability into your life and more calmness into your life. You're only going to be growing in stability and calmness with this marriage partner. So pile number 3, that's actually all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this reading like I did, make sure you give me a big like down below. And of course, comment down pile 3 if you chose pile 3, or tell me what you were most excited for or what resonated with you. I'd love to see your comments. It's my favorite thing about the channel. When you interact with the reading, you bring the energy closer to you. So make sure you interact below. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post new pick a card tarot readings just like this one every single week. So I hope to see you here again soon. Until next time, bye, Pal 3. Hi, Pal 4. If you chose the Tiger's Eye, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and get into your tarot cards. Ace of Pentacles, Five of Cups, King of Wands, Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups, ooh, and the Queen of Swords. With this particular tarot spread, what I'm getting is that you're actually going to be attracting your marriage partner after some type of disappointment that you went through that made you want to just focus on yourself, your career, your stability because of the two first cards here. But before we actually dive into the tarot cards, let's talk about the Tiger's Eye and why you may have been drawn to the Tiger's Eye for this particular reading regarding the journey to your marriage partner. So the Tiger's Eye is really a stone that reminds you of your own worth, your power, and your magnetism. So you didn't choose this pile by accident, my lovely pile number 4s. You're actually stepping into your main character era, and that is why you are attracted to the Tiger's Eye. 111 on the clock right now, and that could not be more resonant. You're really stepping into a new beginning when it potentially comes to a new financial or career opportunity, manifestation, and abundance. So before we get into the tarot though, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Tiger's Eye is really a stone that activates confidence, attraction, and a grounded level of leadership. So this pile is really signaling that you are ready to stop settling and you are ready to start taking charge and commanding your life and love that you deserve. Your marriage partner is really going to come in when you start to claim your power. All right, so that's it for the Tiger's Eye portion of this particular reading. Let's go ahead and dive into the tarot cards. What I'm actually seeing with this tarot story is interesting. So you might have been really disappointed in love, giving too much in love, where you were stepping out of main character energy and going into side character, supportive character energy in your previous relationship or your previous connection, situationship, whatever it was. And you were beginning to lose a little bit of your confidence, a little bit of your power and your self-worth. You were getting lost in the relationship, and that really was affecting you negatively. But once you stepped away from that relationship or situation, you were going full force, locked in to your own life, your own self. So when you begin to dedicate to a new financial or career opportunity or something that you're simply trying to manifest and focused on your own individual abundance, a new chapter really begins to open up for you. Not only in that money realm or stability realm, but just your general life direction. A whole new chapter is opening up for you again because you started to choose yourself. So this is all about that practical, real world, physical earth manifestation. So your marriage partner really comes into your life through a tangible new beginning. So this is not like a spiritual one. This is something that you can actually touch and feel. So this could be when you start a new job, start a new business, move homes, or even have some type of lifestyle upgrade. That is when your marriage partner is going to enter your life. That's when love is going to follow. Love begins when you start to build your own future for yourself. I feel like you've always been a builder. In some sense, you've always been good at manifesting or having abundance in your life, but you were directing that energy towards your previous relationship or the previous connection that you're in, even helping them manifest their own abundance, like feeding into them. And you were giving up your power in that way because you weren't really focusing on your own life and your own self, like potentially not really focusing on your career, potentially not really focusing on your financial life because you were so focused on helping them and building them up. And that is a really hard hit to take. I'm sensing that you have a little bit of regret with that decision that you made, even disappointment or pessimism, like you helped this person so much, because this card does talk about those things: regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, and it's Mars and Scorpio energy. So you may even be feeling very Scorpionic towards them, like spiteful, to be honest. We're not trying to stay in that energy, but it is understandable because if you've always been a builder, if you've always been somebody that has really great manifestation abilities and you didn't manifest for your own self, but you gave that energy towards the other person and they were able to take that energy and use it to manifest so much in their life, which is a very key thing, you guys. So in masculine feminine dynamics, actually the masculine can really benefit from the feminine and actually take that feminine energy and create a lot in their lives. So it's best in a marriage partnership to be giving your feminine energy to your partner because he can't take a lot of it. But if it obviously was not, and this was some type of situationship or something, that's going to be a hard blow, and I understand. But the thing is, it's over now, and you can take all of that back. And if they were really not worthy of you, your connection, then all of that stuff that they were able to manifest from you is really going to start deteriorating now that you're gone. So with the Five of Cups coming after the Ace of Pentacles, it really shows me that you've been hurt before, that you have been disappointed and let down, especially in love. But you are done with that energy and you were going towards that tangible new beginning. Again, a job, business move, some type of lifestyle upgrade, and you really wanted to build your own individual future. And that's when your actual marriage partner comes in. But with the Five of Cups, this is a card that really shows that level of grief from past relationships, really mourning what could have been, because you helped this person build so much. You really wanted to be part of their future, part of the building process. There's only one reason that you would give so much in a relationship, because you see a future in it, because you see potential in it. But that didn't play out. And it's a really hard blow, but if you look at the image in the Five of Cups, actually there's 2 cups still standing, but the girl is just looking towards the fallen cups and just really feeling down and bad and stormy about it. You're allowed to feel stormy for the time being, but realize that there is 2 other cups behind you as soon as you are ready to just dive forward into the future. So love is not gone from your life. It's not like you're not going to have other opportunities for love. You just need to be redirected towards yourself so you can magnetize a alignment level of love towards your life. The King of Wands coming next shows me the type of person that your marriage partner would be. The King of Wands is Cancer and Leo energy, actually, so they may have Cancer or Leo in their chart, or you may have Cancer or Leo in your chart. And this King of Wands type of character is going to be somebody that is a natural born leader, really has a vision. He could be an entrepreneur, and he's a really honorable person. He has a lot of honor in his energy, and a lot of people probably honor him, like look up to him. So when this person enters your life, there's going to be a sense that even though you're a master manifestor, you're somebody that has a lot of abundance opportunities in your life, this is not a person that you're going to have to build up like the past person that you built up. This person probably already is building something. They are a natural born leader. They're self-directed. They have a lot of fiery energy. They know what they want. And potentially your feminine energy can come in and enhance that by calming them down or providing them that pleasure and fun. However, you're not going to need to build them up like you did this last person. So I feel like the last person put you in your masculine energy in a sense, because you were directing things and trying to build with them. But this person, the King of Wands, is already a person that is bold, passionate, and a natural leader. So they're already building something of their own. They're already taking risks. So while you are getting that new job or building your own business, this is probably when you're going to meet that person. And maybe you guys are both in some type of coffee shop working on your businesses, and that's when you're going to meet. This is really showing me that you guys are going to be a power couple, a power match. This is really not a passive partner like your potential previous partner could have been, because they seem to be somebody that is very entrepreneurial, has a visionary mindset, and a very, very masculine person. So this is somebody who builds, this is somebody who protects, and this is somebody who naturally leads. This is a person that is actually very attracted to your own fire and independence and not threatened by it. So that download was very clear. Your previous person potentially was threatened by your energy, your main character energy, so put you in the place of a supportive energy, of a side character, to feed into their vision, feed into their thing that they were trying to build, and taking your fire energy and using it for themselves, which is very, very unacceptable. So eventually, I sense that you just got tired of that energy. It no longer was in alignment with you, and you were able to choose yourself. And so when you chose yourself, you end up attracting somebody that's actually your match, somebody that can actually meet you where you are. And this person has their own thing going, which is really, really nice, because they're not going to be taking any of your energy or making you a side character. This person is the main character of their life, and you're the main character of your life, and you guys come together, and it's really, really powerful, actually. So I'm definitely seeing that's the energy that you should be looking for when you're looking for your marriage partner, because that's just what I'm seeing here. However, we do have the Eight of Cups coming next. So what the Eight of Cups is showing me is either you or the other person that you're going to be attracting, your marriage partner, had to walk away from something for this type of love to happen and come and connect. So you either have to walk away from your past entirely, like you need to block your ex, or they need to walk away from their past and totally block and leave their ex before this love can really, really manifest, because if there's those residuals, it might get in the way. The Eight of Cups is really connected to the themes of disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, and even escapism. This is Saturn in Pisces energy. So the previous relationship that you might have been in may have brought a lot of different type of disappointment into your life. Like you just felt like there's a stuck energy when I think about whatever past relationship that you were in. And this person might have even felt like you abandoned them by walking away, but that was just you choosing yourself. And you really probably went into a period of withdrawing from society after the ending of that previous relationship. But the thing is, this card actually also shows a level of emotional maturity because you were able to leave behind some type of empty relationship so you can choose a meaningful relationship. Choose something that actually is in alignment with you. So either you or your future spouse really had to release something major to align with this particular connection. Because this is such a powerful connection, there is going to be tests before it. There's going to be tests during it too, but I really felt like there's a major test before entering a relationship like this. Next, we move on to a really happy card, which is the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is naturally after the Eight of Cups in the tarot, and this shows that after all that disappointment, after all that abandonment and withdrawal and escapism, you move into Jupiter and Pisces energy, and Jupiter rules over Pisces. So this is contentment, satisfaction, gratitude, and a wish come true. So after you've gone through all those things, you finally get this sense of satisfaction of being in a better place in your life. You're grateful for the lessons that you've learned, and you're grateful for where you're going. All your wishes are beginning to come true. This card really shows that level of mutual joy between you and your future spouse. So this is not a longing energy like you might have been feeling with your previous relationship. This is truly an energy of contentment, meaning that you finally get to relax in love. You finally get to not pour so deeply into the other person. You get to work on your own life, your own financial abundance, while the other person is building their own life, their own financial abundance, and you guys come together to really be powerful. All right, and then I love that we end off with the Queen of Swords because that's telling me something major. You have always been an independent person, but in the wrong relationships, you become dependent. You become overgiving. So this relationship is really going to nurture your independence because this person, he's already doing his own thing. He has like his own business. He has things to do. He's not needy towards you. So that's going to make you be able to focus on yourself, which is really important in a relationship, actually. You're no longer in that anxious, attached energy where you feel like you're pouring so much into the other person. This is really showing me, the Queen of Swords, that you've learned how to set boundaries from previous relationships that you've been in where the boundaries were really skewed. Now you really know how to set that boundary and you start attracting people that have really good boundaries as well. So you're no longer in a place where you're tolerating any type of confusion or mixed signals, and you're not tolerating overgiving or unequal relationships anymore. This is a point where you're really getting clear about what you are looking for. And that clarity is going to allow your marriage partner to step forward. So the love of your life, the marriage partner that you're looking for, really meets you when you meet yourself at the level of self-respect that you've always deserved. So the Queen of Swords, just to go over what the Queen of Swords usually means, is an independent queen. She has great unbiased judgment. She has clear boundaries and a very direct way of communicating. There's no real sugarcoating the Queen of Swords energy. Like, she's very to the point. This is giving the energy of you healing from the past, but when you go into new relationships, you telling this King of Wands very clearly, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z for a boyfriend. I'm not doing this for a boyfriend. That's not boyfriend privilege. That is husband privilege. You're very clear. And this person really likes that because I think this person, because of their energy that comes off here, they're bold, natural born leader, visionary. So they probably have a lot of women that end up just going with the flow of what they say, having no real backbone. So when they come into somebody like you that has a lot of clear boundaries, good backbone, and direct communication, they're going to be quite enthralled by that, really drawn towards that because that's new for them. You're really matching their level of power and passion even. So with that being said, I'm really sensing that you guys are truly going to be a powerful couple that really enhances each other's natural strengths. So let's go ahead and move forward. I'm going to have to cover the image of this because yeah, but as you can see, this is a couple. They're very passionate about each other and a lot of just energy is being exchanged here. It says passion, a magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like after you've gone through this, the Five of Cups, just feeling down and out, really giving way too much in relationships, and you walk away from it, you really start to enhance your own self-confidence of making good decisions. And then you're just passionate about your career and the things that you're manifesting for yourself. And so you become that really magnetic person, that real seductive person. So you're potentially very much glowing, you're very magnetic, and you're desired by a lot of different people. But you have caught the eye of a King of Wands type of character. So this person probably has a lot of different people that they could be putting their energy into, a lot of people that probably want their energy and attention. However, because you're so focused on yourself and you're so focused on your own abundance, your own manifestations, your own career or financial life, this person is going to be noticing you. Your energy is truly irresistible right now because you are embodied, you are confident, and you're emotionally alive. And this is something that you had to work on, something that you had to deal with after a period of regret, failure, disappointment, or even being pessimistic of your past relationships. So this is hard-earned level of confidence here, hard-earned level of passion and magnetism here. And this is very, very deserved. So with that being said, let's move on. We're getting the moon connects, number 3 here, well 30 here, 3 plus 0 is 3. So that is a number of communication, creativity even. So I feel like you're being very creative and you're really good at communicating now, especially with the Queen of Swords coming here, who talks about direct communication. So with this coming up, what this is actually telling me is you're being encouraged to be emotionally open because the Eight of Cups actually talks about withdrawal and escapism. So potentially after your previous relationship that did not work out, I'm sensing that you're leaning towards emotionally closed or even a bit withdrawn when it comes to love. So when you first meet this King of Wands, you might put him in the friend zone or not be super, super open to him in a love sense. But maybe that's another reason why he's just very attracted to you. Again, he could have met you or you can meet each other while you're chasing a career or financial opportunity. So he could see that quality in you, but you're not really chasing love. You're literally chasing something else entirely. So he sees that and that is very attractive. But with this card coming up, it's showing me that you're really being encouraged to be emotionally open to love as well, because that's the story every time when you're not really looking for love, here it comes. When you were looking for love, no love to be found. So I'm sensing that really you don't need to be withdrawn, that actually the vulnerability aspect of relationships is what really creates intimacy in both business and love, actually. So when you're vulnerable and connected, passionate about your business, then that really grows the business. And if you're really vulnerable and connected and passionate about a person or love in general, like you're a lover at heart, then that's really going to show up in your life as well. So really having that vulnerability and being emotionally open, because the moon is a soft kind of planet, right? Where it's like all about the emotions and all about connecting with other people. It's about the intuition, relationships, connection. So that is something that is being called to you in life right now, because I sense that you're all in, locked in, focused on either creating a business, career, or financial opportunity. Also allowing yourself to be seen in your loving light, in your emotional life, is going to create deep bonds. So your marriage partner really connects to your softness, not just your strength and your business ability. Yes, they like your business ability and they're also business people, so they really connect to you on that level, but they really want to see your softness as well. They really want to see your emotions and really want to hold you in your emotions as well. This person probably has fiery emotions or quick emotions and they don't like to dwell in emotions, I'm sensing. Well, both of these characters. The Queen of Swords doesn't really like dwell in emotions. She might be unemotional. And the King of Wands might have fiery emotions, but they move on quickly from those emotions. So I do sense that you are people that super, super dwell on your emotions, and you seem to be somebody that actually deals with your emotions in private, which I encourage. However, a little bit of emotional sharing, and maybe you don't have to talk about your past because you don't really have the desire to talk about your past, but because this person is also an entrepreneur, for example, I'm just making an example, it doesn't have to be the exact, but if they are an entrepreneur and you're going on an entrepreneurship journey, you can share the woes and difficulties about starting a business. They very much will understand it. They'll probably have a lot to advise you on and tell you about. Like they probably felt the same things as you, and they'll be able to share with you how they moved on from those things. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Ooh, we're getting beetle. Adaptation. All right, with the beetle adaptation, I'm really sensing that actually you are very, very quick moving and adaptable to your environment. So for example, when you were realizing that the person that you were with before made you a side character, made you feel very depleted, you were like, all right, well, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm just going to focus on my career or whatever. And maybe you didn't even break up right away. Maybe you just started focusing on yourself and you were like manifesting your own life. And then eventually, obviously, you're going to fall out of alignment with this person. So that's when the breakup happens. But the thing is, you're very adaptable in the sense that you're able to adapt to any environment that you're in. You're able to be a side character if the person that you're with is toxic and making you a side character, but it's not going to feel right. So it's going to eventually break the relationship. However, when you meet somebody that is your match, you're going to be very adaptable to that as well. You're adaptable to any situation that you're put in. And now, the thing with the previous relationship, even though you were adapting to a place that did not actually belong with you, you're now learning with this beetle card coming up that you're learning how to adapt without losing the true sense of yourself. You're getting to know more and more of yourself through each relationship, each friendship, each connection, each job, each place that you live in. Literally every aspect of your life is a learning opportunity. So this relationship that you're entering, your marriage partner, is all about flexibility and adaptability, because if both of you are truly entrepreneurs, that is a journey. It's not like a regular 9 to 5 job where you could probably predict what you're going to be doing in a day, in a week, in a month, because usually with corporate jobs, there's going to be goals that they're setting. The company sets them, not you. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to be setting your own goals, and things are going to come up, and how to get to those goals is going to be very dynamic and not really the same as a structured 9 to 5. So if you're both entrepreneurs, then you're both gonna need to be flexible and adaptable. But this is without self-betrayal. This is without losing yourself. So the true love of your life, the marriage partner that you're attracting into your life, adjusts with you. Is not gonna be adjusting against you like the other person. So what I meant by that is, if you are a main character energy type of person, and this person that you're attracting is a main character energy type of person, they're just going to encourage you to be more and more of yourself and not be threatened by that. However, I sense that your previous partner didn't necessarily feel that way. So instead of letting you be the main character of your own life, they really wanted that main character seat and put you in a side character position, when the truth is they didn't really have that fire within them. They probably were more suited to be the side character, and they couldn't handle the fact that you were the main character. And so now you're really stepping into something where you're allowed to be that main character that you always have been. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. We're getting shapeshifter. So the light attribute here says skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. And the shadow attribute here says projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. All right, so with this shapeshifter card, I'm sensing that's really repeating the adaptability card, but the shape-shifting, I'm sensing that you're really adaptable, again, to your environment and to the people around you. Double check if you are a life path 9. So there's life path calculators, but essentially you add up the month of your birthday, the day, the year, and the total number reduced down to one number, unless it's 11, 22, or 33 is your life path. So you might be a life path 9. They're very adaptable, could be considered shapeshifters. Or if you were born on the 9th, then the 18th, or the 27th, you could also resonate with the 9 life path energy. So with that coming up, I really feel like you lived many versions of yourself because you're adaptable to your environment. So whatever friendships you had, whatever relationships that you had, you adopted those qualities and the way that those people were living. And some of it is feeling right, some of it is not feeling right. But that's the whole learning process of your particular life path. You're learning through adapting to all these situations and what feels right in your heart and what doesn't feel right in your heart. So this is all about life cycles, and this is all about really learning through those things and really reflecting on those things. At this point of your life, being through so many different versions of yourself and so many different groups that you've been associated with or relationships that you've been associated with, now you're at a point of your life where you can really truly choose your own authenticity and what's right for you. You are no longer adapting easily to your environment. You know what is you and what is not you. So the partner that you are attracting as your marriage partner meets the real you, not the mask that you have been adapting through each situation that you've been put in. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're getting lion, strength and power. Number 3. 3 is a very creative number, and a communicative number as well. So you're probably really good at creating things, really good at communication. And with the lion coming up, you could be a Leo, or potentially your partner could be a Leo because it's also King of Wands here. So that could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And with that lion, fire energy coming here, the strength and power has always been within you. I'm really sensing that. You've always been like that. But the thing is that adaptability, potentially the life path 9 thing, or even if you don't resonate with being a life path 9 and you're not a life path 9, I do just sense that you are an adaptable person, that you could really shift into the environment that you're put in. But some of those environments did not make you passionate. Some of those environments did not really feed your soul. And now that you're older and you're more wise, you do know what feeds your soul. You do know what you're passionate about. And the truth is, you have always been powerful. You've always been radiant. And some people are very threatened by that. And so they have always tried to put you down or taken you a notch down, but you're no longer accepting that. Okay? So the marriage that you're attracting is between two very strong souls who really respect each other's power. So no longer are you adapting to relationships that want to keep you small, want to keep you as a side character, want to keep you as a supportive character. You're really attracting in somebody that is really, really admiring and passionate about your power. Okay? Do I need to turn this card around? Okay? That's who you're attracting. This is the energy you're attracting, not somebody that's like all dusty and trying to make you smaller than you are. Okay? They know that you're a powerful person, your marriage partner, and they like that. They like that strength, they like that power. So this is a sovereign union and not a dependent one. I do sense that people have either been dependent on you in the past because they sense the power within you and they try to make you adapt to their situation and their dreams, but no longer are you doing that because you've learned. Your journey, pile number 4, to your marriage partner really begins when you stop mourning the past and dwelling in the past and adapting to situations and toxic environments and truly step into your own confidence, your success, and your magnetism. Because you've always been a powerful person. Your marriage is going to be passionate, powerful, and deeply satisfying because both people are building their own lives and coming together to build a version of life together, a power couple. This is going to be a marriage built on mutual respect, leadership, vulnerability, and a shared vision. This is not a competitive type of love, even though you're both entrepreneurs. I do sense that your fields, your businesses are separate from each other, so there's no real merging or competition aspect of it. Both of you just cheer each other on and are building your own individual lives. But when you come together, you're building something that is separate from your businesses. So for example, I'm just gonna make random examples. Maybe you have a business and it's like beauty, and maybe they have a business and it's tech. That's completely different. Those are completely different things. They don't merge. And both of you could be very, very successful in your businesses. And then when you come together, you're trying to build a happy home. You're trying to build a family with X amount of children. Maybe you're literally building your dream home because you don't like any of the homes that are on the market. You just want to build a custom home. That's what I mean. Like you build some type of shared vision, but you can have your own individual businesses that are completely separate and not competitive. Okay, so that's actually all I have for you, pile number 4. I really enjoyed this reading. If you also enjoyed this reading, make sure you give me a big like down below. And of course, comment down below pile number 4 if you chose this reading and tell me what you either resonate with or what you're most excited for. I love to see your comments. It's my favorite thing about the channel. When you interact with the reading, you bring the energy closer to you, so make sure you interact below. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post new pick a card tarot readings just like this one every single week. So I hope to see you here again soon. Until next time, bye, pile 4.